Hey everybody, JJ here. Welcome back for another Saturday of Zoom networking. Really thrilled today to have my good friend Jeff Stemmerman coming to speak with us about time management for entrepreneurs. You guys haven't heard Jeff speak. I love this guy, ton of knowledge. Jeff's an investor, he's a coach, he's a trainer, a successful business person, and a great guitarist, and a phenomenal photographer. Jeff's just got a wealth of talents and a fantastic guy. Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me, JJ. I'm really excited to be here with this great group of people. It's very, very exciting. So this is terrific.
Jeff, we're pleased to have you. Pleased to hear about your topic today. I know you're going to bring us a wealth of knowledge. We had a great conversation the other day. You really touched my heart. So, I'm really excited to hear what you got to share with the group today. So, Jeff, take it away.
Well, I'm super excited to be here. For those who don't know me, which is there's a couple folks on here like Mr. Fallon that I've coached with for a long, long time. So it's great to see your face, buddy. So my name is Jeff Stemmerman. I live in San Diego, Pacific Beach specifically, and I've done over 20,000 professional coaching sessions. When I say that, I feel a little tired, but it's been great working on all these great people. I love this stuff, and most of that's been in real estate, helping people, bring these homes into life and change their lives with this stuff. It's really, really fun and exciting. So I really enjoy it. I started flipping homes back in Minneapolis, not knowing what I was doing. I was a mess, but I just figured if I buy this ugly house and I fix it up and make it pretty, I'll be able to sell it more. That was my whole business plan. I knew nothing else, and somebody gave me a $30,000 check and I went, that's pretty cool. Because back in those days, that was about what I was making. I was like, okay, this is a deal. Riggin. And I went from there to, I just started rolling these houses on top of each other until I lived in $1 million house in California. So even with a poor business plan, it still was a pretty amazing thing for me. Did a bunch of things that nowadays I would not recommend that you do. And I'll tell you what those are sometime if you're curious, because I made a lot of mistakes along the way. And then I am also a real estate investor. We own houses in 3 different states. We also, I used to be an estate manager, managing it was basically property management for really, really big houses. Biggest house I managed was 25,000 square feet. It was just a castle. Just imagine a castle on a hill on 8 acres in Rancho Santa Fe, just a monster house. I had 27 of those things I took care of. They're just a crazy world out there, taking care of these people. But nowadays, Jackie my wife she has a property management company, manages about 200 properties around this area. She's also the realtor and the broker in the house. And I am also a real estate photographer and a headshot photographer. So we have a lot of different real estate in our lives. And so I hope I can bring some benefit to you between all of the thousands of people that I've worked with over the years and our own experience. I want to bring you some value today. The topic I want to talk to you about is time management. I call it time management for free spirits. I'll tell you why. The number one reason you become an entrepreneur is what? To become free, right? I don't want a boss anymore. I want to do this on my own. I want my own thing. I want my own hours. So people want to be free. So one of the companies I used to coach with, we would do assessments on all of the students who come through, and this was tens of thousands of people. And so it was a big model a big survey to look at. And we found out over 80% of these people were what we called a free spirit. And I'll tell you what that is. These free spirits are people that they don't really like a boss. They like to be independent. They like a lot of autonomy in their business and their job and the things that they do. They're fun people. They're creative. They've got a lot of ideas that they want to put into place. And if they're well managed, they can have a really awesome business. They can own their own businesses like Virgin Airlines or Virgin Records, or Richard Branson, guy's a free spirit. big time free spirit. All right. And so it's not bad to be a free spirit, but if it's not managed correctly, it can get you in trouble. Somebody who doesn't manage their free spirit, they don't show up. They don't show up on time. They are buried in the details and they hate it. And it becomes, and then they beg for structure. And as soon as they get the structure, they resist it and they fight against it. Now, does this ring true to anybody out there? I see a couple little hands going up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you some ideas about that. Now, also knowing that if 80% of the people in real estate, the business of real estate, whether it's a real estate realtors or real estate investors, what's the chance you're going to be in a deal with a free spirit? It's very, very high, right? Okay, so how am I going to deal with this free spirit who's on the other side of this house and they're not showing up, or they don't like the way I said something, or they don't like the structure that we're trying to put together, or these bullets that we need them to get done. So I'm going to give you two things right now that will help you as a free spirit, if that's the case, or your business partner, your spouse, your kids, or your partners across the other side of a deal that you're doing. Okay. The first thing, we have to give them choices. And this can be very simple. It's not, hey, you got to do this deal today. You got to get this to me today, or we're out. It's not that way. It's, hey, do you want to do this? You want to send this over to me tomorrow, or today? Which one would be easier for you? Oh, I'll send it over today. That'd be great. Then they feel like they have control. Does that make sense? Okay. So what we're trying to do is give them, within the structure of the deal that we're doing, or the transaction that we're doing with them, we're giving some flexibility, and so they feel like they have control. All right. This is a big deal to them, because if you say, you have to get this to me today at 10 o'clock, they're going to go, you don't know me very well, do you? I've blown up worse deals than this. So you got to be careful about this. These people will flee and they won't talk to you for 3 days and say, where you been? If they're not managed. Okay. So the other thing is, we got to somehow find a way to make it fun. And there's a lot of really simple ways to do that. Yesterday, we went to photograph a house and get it listed to be shown. So we decided, hey, let's go to this little restaurant and have lunch afterwards. We just made it fun. We got to go and do this business, but we had some fun along the way. It can be really simple things. Okay. But how can we make this fun? There was a story that, oh man, this was 25 years ago. I heard this story from Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was, when he was first getting his first really big year in the business, where everybody wanted this guy. And so he's out on the road for weeks and weeks, and he comes home, and in those days they had the voice recorder, and he comes back and there's 100 messages on there, and he went, oh my God, I've been working for weeks. How am I going to get through these 100 messages? This is terrible. Well, then he got a little perspective, and he said, okay, wait a second. A year ago, I would have killed to have this 100 messages. Two of these guys on this message machine are billionaires that want to talk to me. This is a really high quality problem to have. When you get your next deal, it's going to be a really high quality problem to have, even though there's a lot of headaches that go along with it, right? Okay. But he said, okay, how can I make this fun? So he went out to his hot tub, brought the phone and a notepad, and he started making phone calls, smiling down and talking to all these people. He figured out a way to make something hard fun. Does that make sense? So it doesn't have to be anything real radical. These are fairly simple concepts, but I want you to understand, because there's so many entrepreneurs out there that want that freedom, and these are two really. So there's other things you can do, but these are the two biggest ones that if you do these things, they're going to like you. They're going to say, "Hey, you're fun. Let's do another deal together." All right, I like this. So that's the first thing I want you to understand. The next thing we're going to talk about. How many people here, maybe you can make a little note in the question box, or just raise your hand. How many people here use a journal? Oh, I see little hands going up. Great. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to highly recommend that you have a book, that you write this stuff down in. Okay. That should be something that's nearby, close to you at all times. It's a very important thing. There are plenty of apps that you can put on your phone that do the same thing. The problem is, when you open your phone up, there's a text, there's a phone call, there's Facebook, there's all of these things that distract you, and you never actually get to the to-do list that you're trying to do. It works against you. That phone is really a terrible thing for time management. It really does. It probably does more harm than it does good. So having these things, these ideas written down on paper is going to be a really important thing. So I encourage you all to have these journals. I see your journal there, Felicia. I always see a couple of them out there. Irby, great. So we want to have those things, and we can keep them. We can look back at them. One day of the year that's a great time to look through those is the first day of January. Go back through, scroll through. That's a good day to scroll through some of the ideas that you had over the course of the year, what worked, what didn't work, and then that'll help you in your planning for the following year. That's a good time to do that. So we have these ideas and we write them down. Now, I'm going to give you some more ideas, but one of the things I want you to consider is that, do we have to do all of these time management ideas at the same time? No. Okay. What we want to do is look at them. And when you go to the breakout groups, as a matter of fact, what I want you to do is go and figure out maybe 1, 2, 3 different ideas, 3 at the max, that you think, I'm going to implement these 3 things. I once had, I'd taken on a new job, and it was a giant job at the time. There were about 5,000 people that we had to catch and do an event for. It was one of those things where it's 6 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night every day. And the way I got through that, as a matter of fact, and was successful in it, I was listening to these Brian Tracy tapes. Brian Tracy was one of my guys that I used to listen to a lot back in the day. And he would have these time management ideas. And every day I'd say, today I'm going to take one idea that he gave me, and I'm going to just concentrate on that. It's very similar to what Benjamin Franklin did with his 13 virtues. So Ben Franklin had 13 virtues of silence, temperament, order, resolution, frugality, industry, sincerity, justice, moderation, cleanliness, tranquility, chastity, and humility. So he had these 13 things, and every week he'd pick one of them, and he'd just focus on that one thing. So it might be silence. How do I just stay quiet instead of opening my mouth too much? Because he knew he had struggles with all of these things. And so he thought, okay, this week, I'm just going to work on being a little more quiet, listening a little bit more. And that's a good idea. So this is what I encourage you to do. I'm going to give you some ideas. We're going to rattle through them, write them down, then decide, all right, that's a good one. I like this. This week, I'm going to use this particular thing. I'm going to start with the boss hat. Now, I know this is backwards for most of you, but here's what happens. When you're a entrepreneur, you have this moment where you go, I am finally free. And the great thing about being an entrepreneur is you don't have a boss to tell you about what to do. The bad thing about being an entrepreneur is you don't have a boss to tell you what to do. And that becomes a problem right away for a lot of us, right? Okay. So there's a point, Sunday night, I want you to get a boss hat. I want you to put your boss hat on and say, okay, what are my employees up to? Oh, wait a minute. It's just me. I'm the only employee. Okay. So I better figure out what Jeff's going to be doing the rest of the week so I get him organized. All right. So you decide, I'm going to get in my role. Okay. I need to be thinking like a boss. When I grow my business, and some of you have businesses where there's a team that you work with. We've got 4 girls that work for us in the property management business. When we have that team, we got to be thinking about what's the team going to be doing? What are they going to be? What are their goals this week? What do they need to get done? And if you're the only member, you need to decide what you're going to be doing. But there's a different mindset when we get into being the boss, right? Okay, so we need to take time to sit in the boss's chair instead of just running around doing stuff. That's not going to get you there. We need to go from that technician to that manager, which is thinking about the team, to the entrepreneur, where everybody else does your business for you, and you just are the owner of the business, like a landlord. Okay. Somebody else takes care of this. Property management company takes care of this for me. I just own the thing and get money off of it. It's an asset. That's a beautiful thing. You have to get there. But we start out always as a technician, and we work our way through that, and we have to think differently to get there. Does that all make some sense? Some other thoughts about mindset. I think I heard one of the folks on here make some mention about, I'm not very good at this time management thing. Most people aren't. Okay, so don't feel like you're alone. Okay, I've coached so many people for such a long period of time that this is a super common conversation. Okay, and I want you to know that you have the capability to be a great time manager. How do I know that? The day before vacation, everybody is a genius at time management, aren't they? That's the day where suddenly I'm working my list. I'm delegating. I'm doing prioritizing things the right way. I'm fast and I'm focused. I'm getting these things done. And it's just amazing how you see somebody who's terrible at time management. All of a sudden, hey, I'm not missing this vacation. I got to get these things done. I got to do this right. So you're capable. So start there, knowing that I can do better. I can do just as good as that day before vacation. And at any point in time, you really got to get caught up. That's one way to look at it. That, okay, it's the day before vacation. If that was the case for me right now, what would I do tomorrow to make sure I am a badass time manager? Okay, it's a mindset. We're diving into a different role. We're deciding how to do this a little differently. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, when we go along, there's also a thing called Parkinson's law. This is a law that says whatever period of time you give for work will fill that period, that space. Here's the interesting thing. I've watched this where we went from doing hour-long meetings and we said, okay, we're going to do meetings in 15 minutes. We got the same amount of work done in 15 minutes. It's amazing. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to challenge you a little bit next time. If you have a meeting with your partner, instead of saying, hey, let's have our weekly meeting, do a stand-up meeting for 15 minutes and see if you can get the same amount of stuff done. All right. I want you to try that. All right. When you're looking at these meetings and I got to go to meet with somebody, you might say, hey, I'm coming over to take a look at your house. I only have a few minutes. So I'll be there. I'll be as efficient as possible and then be out of your hair. I hope that's okay. And they go, that sounds good to me. But they know you're there to move faster. Little tiny things like that. Back when I was a manager, I would have people come to my door in my office and I'd stand up and I'd meet them at the door. How can I help you? Because I knew if I was standing up at the door, the meeting wouldn't last as long. That's a little example. Okay. So we can do some little tricks like that. The other thing, another little strategy that I want you to think that's part of mindset. There are some mindset ideas. Done is better than perfect. There's a whole bunch of people out there that are not starting because they're afraid it's not going to be, they don't have everything they need to get started. And they're losing deals. Okay. Your business is suffering from it. Okay. Just get out there and start doing it. All right. And do it in an imperfect way. Make these phone calls in an imperfect way. Just get some things done. I worked for Than Merrill for 7.5 years. And one thing, if you finish a project and it's imperfect, they have a lot of, they'll get a lot of leeway on that. If you don't get it done in time, it's going to be shit. It's going to be a problem. Okay. You better have it done when you said you were going to get this thing done. That's a big difference. And so this idea of done is better than perfect. I watched them build this company. When I first started working there, they didn't have the whole website. That was something that came on later. And we had these big fat books with so many errors that the first time I read one of these, I was like, did anybody edit these books at all? I was just amazed that they said, oh yeah, we're going to get around to that. So, but they knew the website was coming up, so they didn't really bother with that. So, but it was done. They got it out. They were selling it and they were making things happen, even though it wasn't a perfect book, So I really learned a lot from that, watching that kind of thing happen. They would just get this stuff out there and then they refine it as you go, and that's a better way. Okay, cool. Now, thinking in terms of, again, this is a mindset thing. And when you think about somebody, well, if I think about somebody like Than Merrill, I once sat down at one of the events, and I was doing a role play on real estate negotiating with my boss, Than Merrill, sitting at the table. I'm going to tell you, that's a stressful moment because I'm supposed to know what I'm doing here. And I'm talking to one of our clients across the table, and Than sits down and just listens in. I was like, okay, I better get this right. So the pressure was on. But think about if you had a camera on you tomorrow with your hero, like for one of my heroes is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love the guy. He's just done so many things, and he's just a guy who manifests stuff. He's the ultimate goal setting guy. Whether you like him or not, that guy's got some stuff done, and he has a mindset around doing that. So really appreciate him. Now, and I'll sometimes think about, okay, today I'm going to get a lot done. What if Arnold was watching a video of me and how I was performing in my time management? Would he be embarrassed? They say, oh, that guy, man, oh, he's a problem. That guy is never going to get anywhere. Or would he say, hey, does a good job? So you can kind of play these little games and make this fun and say, okay, I'm gonna take these tools and I'm gonna try to be the best time manager I can. One of the best things I ever learned from Brian Tracy was for him to say, hey, decide to be a great time manager. I was like, well, wait a second. That's kind of simple. You just decide? He's, yeah, just decide that you're a great time manager and then act as if you're a great time manager. Funny enough, you'll end up doing great time management. I was like, well, that's really interesting. But most people don't do that. But you'll hear people all the time say, I'm not very good at time management. I don't know. I said, no, you change the tape inside your head and you say, no, I am a great time manager. I can get this stuff done, and I'm going to start acting like a great time manager through my day with my behaviors. It's amazing that little change in your mindset can be brilliant. Can you see how that works? Really, really subtle. And so I kind of emphasize it because it's so subtle. It's really easy for that one to fly by. But if there was anything I would tell you, that'd be among the first things I would have you try tomorrow when you're trying to improve your time management and get more done. Just say, it's an affirmation. I am a great time manager. I'm going to get a ton of the right kinds of things done. And also, it's also about being, a lot of times people make the mistake in time management about being efficient versus effective. Efficient is doing things faster. I want to get more done. No. You don't want to get more done. You want to get the right things done. You want to get the things done that are going to put money in your pocket. There's all kinds of things you can do out in real estate that will make you nothing. Okay. What are the things that are going to make you money? Where's the focus there? That's what you want to be doing. And so this gets into prioritizing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about prioritizing. The one last thing on mindset I will mention before I move into prioritizing is the concept. Has anybody ever read the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy? I got to see a couple of hands up. Eat That Frog it's a real simple concept, a real small little book. But the concept is, if you had to eat a frog, why spend your day looking at it? It's not going to get easier. You might as well just get the thing done and be done. As a matter of fact, it was Mark Twain said, eat a frog in the morning and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day. I thought, that's pretty good advice too. Okay, so we get this, get that frog out of the way. Whatever that ugly thing is that you got to do today, do it first and get it done so that you feel, okay, the rest of the day is going to be easier than this. I have an uncle this guy has run 6 miles a day. There are many years where he never missed a day of running for years at a time. And I've always been impressed by that. I was like, wow, you never miss one day, a year. And he says, well, it's just that if I get that done, everything else of the day is easy. Because going out and running 6 miles in the dark before I go to work sucks. It's cold. It's just not fun. But I get that done. The rest of the day is easy. And he uses that as a little mind game, to get himself to perform. And I thought, that's brilliant. I just love that. So it's these mindsets or ideas are terrific for that. Okay. So I'm going to talk about prioritizing, but I want to take one step before that and talk a little bit about blocking and batching. This is where we have all our stuff that we have to do. We have 168 hours in the week. We're going to spend time sleeping. We're going to spend time eating, some time with our family. We're going to spend time in our business, and we need to decide when that is. Now, so let's say if I came out here and Biz, I see you there. So if I said, Biz, I'm going to put you on the high school track here. I want you to start running as fast as you can. So what's the reward at the end? How long have I got to get out there? Oh, hey, this is real estate. You're going to run forever. Get on that track and you're just going to be spinning forever. Now, if you found out that in real estate, we just have to get on the track and run forever and we never get to stop. So what I'm encouraging guys to do, and I've had knockdown, drag out fights with realtors over this. What are your business hours? Oh, somebody might call. How late are you taking calls? Oh, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. There's nothing that can be done. There's nothing good that can come of that. The banks aren't open. The lenders aren't there. The transaction coordinators aren't there. Why are you talking to people at 11 o'clock at night about a house? What are your business hours? What does your family think about that? They don't like it, do they? Okay. Real estate has one of the highest divorce rates out there. And it's because people never turn it off. They never turn it off, and it's terrible. So I'm super pushing you to have business hours. Now, if you have a full-time job, which many people do, it's real common. If you have a full-time job, what are your business hours after that job? Your family should know what those are. You should know what those are. You shouldn't dabble at this business. Decide. Chris Steele, one of the guys I've worked with at Fortune Builders, and a friend of mine, he will send out this accountability email to us and said, I got 9 calls in last night in 1 hour. And then I got 11 calls last night in 1 hour. I got 10 calls in 1 hour. And every night, and this is a guy, he's into jujitsu, he's a surfer, he works a full-time job, but he gets that 1 hour. And he just cashed a $40,000 check because of that wholesale deal. It's the consistency that's beautiful about that. Okay. 1 hour, at the same time every night, that tends to get done. It's really, really great. Okay. So I want you to think about what are my business hours? When do I start? When do I stop? Everybody should know what those are. And within that, there should be 1 hour. That's your hour of power, we used to call it, your marketing hour, when you're going to make your phone calls. And this is also about, there's good reason to batch things together. Why not make all your phone calls at the same time? Why not do all your emails at the same time? I called a friend of mine, Sonia, who Jeff Fallon I used to work with yesterday, and I got her voicemail at first, and it said, "This is Sonia, and I will be returning my phone calls between 11 and noon and 4 and 5. And if it's after business hours, I will call in the following day." I thought, she's got business hours on her phone message. That's beautiful. Okay. That means she's batching her calls. She's time blocking her calls. She lets everybody know when they're going to call. So I know Sonia's going to call me at 4. It's so nice, and it's really smart thing to do, but there's so many people that resist this. They just don't want to go there. Okay. So I want you to understand that that's time blocking is going to be a super important part of it. Now, a job like Jeff Fallon and I have had, I could look back 8 years and tell you at this time of day who I was coaching, because it's all in there. It's all blocked in. That's just the nature of the call. And there's another technique called the Pomodoro technique, which you probably heard of. And they sell these little tomatoes that are timers, and you turn it on and for 25 or 45 minutes, and it clicks on. And the idea is you listen to you put this timer and you focus on whatever that thing is. You time block. I'm going to make my phone calls until that alarm goes off. And then you get free time. Free spirits love that free time, don't we? Okay. So I get 15 minutes to go and walk around, hang out, throw the Frisbee to the dog, and then I'll come back and I'll do another 45-minute segment. Bam. Let's get it. So that's a technique that people oftentimes use that's very effective. A lot of people find that, but it makes it kind of fun. And it's, it just gets that focus, so you're not distracted. Good idea to take that phone, put it in a top drawer, hide it from you so something doesn't pop up. You don't see it. the sales guys over at Fortune Builders. There was one point I was working in with the sales guys, and they all put their phones in their drawer so that they didn't see it, so it didn't pop up and distract them from these calls that they're making. They're trying to do their job and be the best they can be, and that was a simple strategy. But boy, there's an awful lot of people that have these things. Bing, 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 bing. We're always so curious about, well, what's that? Oh, somebody on Facebook, and then boom, you're gone for 25 minutes, and and it can be just a terrible thing. So we want to use that blocking and batching and put these important elements, the most important things, into our system, so that, which is basically goes to our calendar. If you say, I'm going to get this done this week, and you haven't put it on a specific date in your calendar, it's not time blocked yet. And I'll bet you it's a good chance it doesn't get done. Okay. When you put it in your calendar, you got a little timer on there, there's a good likelihood that's going to get done. Okay. So we get all these things. Now we have to prioritize them, because there's a whole bunch of stuff we can do, but we don't have to do everything that's out there. We were sitting in the, then this was during COVID too, but we were sitting in the hot tub, and Jackie said, I got to go to the grocery store. And I said, nope. And we literally ordered all the food we wanted. It showed up 2 hours later at our front door. We didn't have to go to the grocery store. There's so many things you can do now where the food just shows up, and Amazon's your friend. It'll just show up. You don't have to go out and do these things if you don't want to. If you enjoy that, great, have fun. But there's a lot of things that you just don't have to do. I was in a battle with one of my students about mowing his lawn. And I was just, so why do you mow your own lawn? You own a very busy business, and you're doing real estate on top of it, and you're still mowing your own lawn. You got to give some things up. Why are you doing everything? He said, they don't do it right. Okay. Please just let somebody else do it, and even if they do it at 80%, at least it's done, and you're not having to spend an hour mowing your own lawn. It might be so there might be some things you can give up. That it might be cleaning your house. It might be maintenance of your cars. People come, to service your car right in your driveway. You don't have to go anywhere. There's all kinds of amazing things that you can do nowadays, that you don't have to spend the time. So I want you to think about, what are some things that I don't really like doing, I don't want to do. Let's free up some time. A thing that, now this isn't something everybody could do, but this was amazing in my life. When I first got hired at Fortune Builders, I lived an hour away, way up north, and so it was over an hour drive up there and back every day. So I do 10 hours of coaching, and then have to drive home in this black area back there, and it was tough. I moved 2 miles away from the office, and I rode my bike to work for years. And I had so much time on my hands, I felt like I was cheating. So I had 2 extra hours every single day just because I limited my commute. It was incredible. I can't even tell you what a change that was to my life. It was just amazing. And again, not everybody can do that, but you guys are in real estate. Maybe you can. Maybe we should live closer, to where I'm doing deals. Maybe it's a matter of moving closer to the city. You find out there's a city, that has better deals on homes than, but we like Nashville a lot. That's one of the areas we're doing deals in, and we might move there, at least part-time some point in time, because it's fun. It's a neat area, and it's just a lot of the cash flowing houses here in Southern California, as most of you know, doesn't really work, but does work out there. So there's other places. Maybe it's time to move. So there might be some things like that. So think about, what can I eliminate? Also, here's another thing, which is your not to do list when it comes to priority. What are some things I need to try not to do? Because there's a bunch of stuff you're doing out of habit, and some things that you shouldn't be doing anyway. And maybe there's people that are toxic to you, and they're just taking your energy down. Maybe it's time to let some people go, and get better quality people in your life. This group is an amazing group of people. it's just beautiful. I'm just always so impressed with JJ does, with this crew. It's just fantastic. So, hanging out in this kind of environment is a good place to be hanging out because everybody's still, so many people are doing deals. It's like, well, I can do a deal. Look at everybody else is out there making things happen in real estate. Oh, I heard this idea and this idea. That's beautiful. There's other people that you can hang out will tell you all day you can't get a deal done in real estate right now. You'll hear that all day long from people who don't understand real estate, but there's deals out there every single day, and right now it's easy to sell them, hard to buy them. There's always one side of real estate that's good and the other side that's hard. Okay. And we can use that to our advantage, but it doesn't mean you get out of the market. You just understand the dynamics and change things around on that. So, looking at, okay, what are my priorities? What are the people? What are my lists that I want to do? And then how do I get rid of some of these things? There's another technique that you can use for prioritizing your list. So let's say you write down a list of 25 things. A's, and this could be start by thinking, okay, what if this was the day before vacation? Start there and say, okay, pressure's on, and also the reason that vacation thing works is it's the perfect stick and carrot moment. If you do this right, you get the carrot of going on vacation. Yay, big celebration, everything's fun. If you don't do it, man, you just lost a lot of money. You wasted time. You couldn't go on vacation. And it's because you didn't get these things done. So there's serious consequences and really serious fun on both sides of it if you do it right. That's why it's so effective in terms of getting more done. So use that to your advantage when you go through these things. Now, when you're looking at your list and decide, okay, how do I decide what it is that I need to get done? A's are things that absolutely have to get done, and they have consequences. Somebody's going to be looking for you for the wrong reasons if you don't get this done. All right. Somebody's going to, it's going to hurt somebody. There's a conversation you have to have and have to, these are the A's. You might as well do them first. That's the thing. Get them done first. Okay. These are things you better get done because there's also going to be a consequence, but it's going to be less severe. It might be, I was embarrassed because I didn't show up on time, or it could be something fairly simple and I'm worried, they're going to think bad of me. There's still going to be some consequence, but it might not be, it might be something you can get over fairly quickly. Now, the things to be really careful are the C's. There's a lot of things I could do, but there's no consequence for it. Nobody really cares if this gets done. If I clean my desk again, nobody cares. If I clean my car again, nobody cares. It's not going to really make that big of a difference. Some of these things just need to be let go. Okay. You do them if you have time after the A's and B's are done, but you got to have that focus of having those A and B so you have a better, funner life, because the stress is off. Hey, I got the big things done. This is great. Now, next are D's. Those are delegate. I don't have to do everything. I'm going to hire somebody to do this. I'm going to get a virtual assistant to do this. I'm going to ask my friend to do this for me. I'm going to see if I can help somebody else over on this side. But D's are delegate. And then my favorite one, E's, eliminate. Just get rid of it. Don't do it at all. There's a whole bunch of things you just don't have to do. Decide what those are and make a list of them. Say, okay, if I don't do all these things today, my day's automatically going to be better. Okay, I'm just gonna get those things out of my life. It's gonna be, there's going to be some good reasons for it. Let's just try that and see how it goes. All right. Okay. So those are some thoughts I hope were helpful in terms of prioritizing the things that are going on. One other warning. Most of you probably heard this. Be careful about multitasking. It's really a terrible thing to do. It's not efficient. It's not effective. And actually, there's one study I read that multitasking brings your IQ down 15%. You're dumber because you're distracted from all these different things. You get your phone going, you got your computer phone, you're talking to somebody, you're trying to write this paperwork, you're getting trying to do all these things. And every time you shift gears, you lose time because you say, where was I? Hang on, wait a second. Where was I? Where was that line on the page? And you're losing efficiency and you're losing energy. It's really a bad idea. So be careful about that. That will be something that'll come up as well. Okay. Now, as you're going through this, a bigger category of just prioritizing is planning. Okay. This is just the same thing. It's just a bigger topic. We have to build this house. We need a plan. Who's gonna renovate a house without a plan? It's a terrible idea. Okay, don't do it. But, let's just work on this a little ways, and then you find out, hey, well, there's a sequence to these things. You can't just do this without doing the other part first. So we need to, think about a plan. And everybody knows you got to have a plan to build a house, but a lot of people don't have a plan for their business. They just don't. Okay, why not? Okay, just haven't got around to it. Well, I'm going to tell you, the greatest businesses in the world, they all have a business plan. All of them. Okay, they do. They have quarterly reporting, every single one of them. Every single, think about this, every company on the stock market has quarterly reporting. Are you doing quarterly reporting? It's okay if you're not, but probably should start because it's a really good idea. We're going to see how much we can do. It's a goal. Okay. We're going to see if we'll ramp our business, and 90 days is a good amount of time to really test to see if the new things that you've done have worked. And then after that, all right, we're going to say we learned from this last 90 days. We're going to reset our plan and we're going to try to grow it bigger. And if you incrementally do that and have that plan and you continually monitor your business like that, you could have a massive business. It could be just incredible. But it has to be something you decide about. Okay. You need to decide, okay, let's sit down and have this plan. Now, when you're doing this, that this is quarterly. Okay. So when is that? Well, January 1st, right around there, we're going to start the first quarter, April 1st, July 1st, October 1st. Those are your quarters. Set it on your calendar. Hey, I need to sit down and write my next quarterly plan. Put it in your calendar now for the whole year. Get ready for it. Decide, okay, we're going to have a meeting. We're going to have our quarterly meetings, and we're going to decide what our strategy is going to be for the next one. Bring your coach in. Have your coach help you out if you've got a coach. Okay. But this is what every great business does. I want you guys to be as great as those great businesses. So let's do the things that they do. Does that make sense? What we're trying to do is we have a bunch of ideas, okay, that we're hearing, and hopefully some of those you went, okay, that one thing Jeff said, that was pretty cool. I think I should try that. Maybe it's a mindset thing. Maybe it's prioritizing. Maybe it's time blocking and refining that to get a little better. So I want you to think about what are those 1, 2, 3 things that I'm going to try to implement into my life tomorrow and this week, and plan out my week. I'm going to put my boss hat on. All right. And I'm going to plan out my week. I'm going to plan out and just decide to be a great time manager. So think about which of those items that were helpful to you. Maybe it's simplifying your life. Maybe it's the planning. Maybe it's prioritizing, time blocking and batching. It might be just more of the mindset kind of things. Or maybe those couple little ideas I gave you around free spirits. How am I going to manage the free spirits in my life? I can make some strategic decisions about that and get better results in our relationship on that. It could be real simple. Okay. So take those. And I hope this is helpful to you. I hope this blesses you and carries you further. I hope you get excited about some of these ideas and incrementally just add them, to your big bag of tricks. That's what we're out here to do, is just steal ideas and fill our bag of tricks with more ideas to make us more effective as we go along. So I think JJ is going to put us in some breakout rooms, and any questions that you have, I'm certainly here to answer as well.
Hey, Jeff, that was fantastic, brother. I love all the things he had to share. I'm taking notes myself. I'm definitely going to go back and watch it and make sure I take extensive notes. But great share, great gold nuggets there. And I know that we're going to have some good breakout rooms coming up and some good Q&A. So everybody, look to our YouTube channel, Flip Side Up with JJ. We will have this recorded. Of course, if you're watching this now on YouTube, it's recorded. But look for other great presentations. Jeff is fantastic. For those of you that don't know him, Christian Weatherspoon is going to be speaking next weekend. So look for that video to come out soon. And everybody, thanks for signing on with us. And we'll see you next week. Over and out.